Hey there, bookish friends, my name's Gabby. Thanks for stopping by my channel after you read. Feel free to completely ignore the mess in the background. My life is always a mess, and that's full stop. My life's always a mess. So I've seen a lot of videos on the interwebs of people reacting to various things, and I tried to think about what my most cringeworthy thing to react to would be, and lo and behold, I realized it has to be my fan fiction. I started writing fan fiction when I was in middle school, and I don't read or write it anymore, but I think fan fiction is just a magnificent thing. It really helped me develop my own writing and start writing my own stories, and it actually helped shape me as a creative writer. So all the respect in the world for fan fiction, just, not necessarily mine. So my first ever fan fiction was about Last Sacrifice by Rochelle Mead. I was so extra when I was waiting for this book to come out. So Vampire Academy is my favorite series of all time, but I for sure had to wait for Last Sacrifice, and I was so obsessed with the series that I kept an actual countdown in Sharpie on my hand every day, counting down to when it was released. I pre-ordered it. I think it's the only book I've ever pre-ordered because your girl's too poor for pre-ordering. But I pre-ordered it, and I pre-ordered it signed because I was so hecking excited. I have no idea where I got the money. Literally no idea whatsoever. I don't know. So yeah, was obsessed with the series, still am, but was hardcore obsessed, and I was so eager for it to come out that I started writing fan fiction on what I thought the last book should be. I've never finished a fan fiction before. I've started a lot of them, probably 6 or 7 or something like that, but the one about Last Sacrifice was my first. So without further ado, let's read some of it. Oh Lord. I wrote fan fiction on fanfiction.net, and my username was literally my first and last name. I didn't even try to hide it, unlike now. I had a picture of myself. Yes, I've written 9, or I've started writing 9. Sorry, I'm looking at my profile now. I joined in 2010, 8 years ago. This isn't my fan fiction, but this is my bio. My name is Gabby, which I suppose is pretty obvious. I'm 15 and not exactly normal, to say the least. What is this, an episode of Riverdale? I'm weird. I'm a weirdo. Oh my god. No. I didn't even title it. It's literally Last Sacrifice fanfic. And the description is, this is what I think should happen in the new book Last Sacrifice. It was published October 16th, 2010, and it was last updated February 19th, 2011. So it's been over 7 years, right? Is that math right? I have 15 chapters though. Everybody was laughing, drinking champagne, and having a great time. The Belikovs were there, along with Lissa, Christian, Adrian, Mia, Eddie, my mom, Abe, Alberta, Kurova, Jill, and just about everyone else that meant anything to me. Wow. So glad I listed 17,000 names. We were all sitting around a long table, dressed up nicely, and clearly celebrating something. Detail is just magnificent. Dressed up nicely and clearly celebrating something. Lissa used her fork to clink her champagne glass. Through the bond, I could feel a swirl of emotions: excitement, happiness, overwhelmed, and even a little bit jealous. Odd combination, I thought. Yeah. I would like to propose a toast. She stood up, and I could tell she was choking back tears. The good kind. Rosemary Hathaway is not only my guardian, but she is my best friend, my sister. We have known each other for so long, and for that whole time, Rose has done nothing but dedicate her life to me. She is the best guardian that I could ever ask for. We have been through so much together, especially last year, when Dimitri turned Strigoi. As much as she loved me, she left me. And though I was hurt at the time, I can now understand why. When I see the two of them together, it is clear that they are head over heels in love. In fact, I don't know how I didn't see it before. I don't have to be able to feel Rose's emotions like she can mine, to know that there's no one else she would rather be with. Congratulations, Rose. She held up her cup. Here's to their happy ending. So, I remember at least that this is a dream scene, which, of course, I started my freaking fan fiction with a dream scene, which you don't start stories with a dream scene, you just don't. But, just a personal opinion. But so far, it's not bad. It's pretty grammatically correct. It's not horribly written, it's just very derivative and like riddled with cliches, but you know, it's whatever. All of her words hit me at once. Her guardian? Head over heels in love. With each other? That makes it sound like Lissa and Rose are in love, but you know, I was talking about Dimitri. Honestly, let's be real, like, if you really think about things, Vampire Academy definitely should have turned into like a love story between Rose and Lissa, but whatever. Happy ending. What the hell was going on? I looked to my left, and there he was. My Prince Charming, Dmitry Belikov. Okay, but can we talk about how like Rose would never talk like this? Like, I thought I was so good at like being in her head, but she would never say like, oh, my Prince Charming, there he was. Oh my gosh. Like, I don't know. This is just too like sappy to be Rose. Apparently, I must have looked confused because when I looked at him, he took my hand in his and squeezed it, sending reassuring vibes, sending comfort, just like he always used to do. I got it then. Me and Dimitri were getting married. My heart was flying. I was so happy. Lissa was right. Dimitri was the only one for me, and I was about to become his wife. I had waited so long for this, and after months of Lissa, Mia, and I planning, it was finally going to happen. Tomorrow, I was going to be Mrs. Rosemary Belikov, or Mrs. Rosemary Hathaway Belikov. I still hadn't decided. I guess that's like a Rose thing. Dimitri leaned towards me, putting his lips to my ear, his low, seductive voice whispering, "Love fades. Mine has." The thing is, I haven't like read the 4th or 5th book in so long, but I'm pretty sure that's a quote. And so like, honestly, that was a pretty good line. Except for the low, seductive voice. I was then screaming. I woke up in a cold room with a lumpy bed. It took me several moments to reorient myself and remember where I was. The court. Prison. Ah, that's right. I was in the court's holding cells. My breathing was still heavy after that dream, and I was on the verge of tears. I brought my knees to my chest and wrapped my arms around them, rocking back and forth slowly. Don't cry, Rose, I told myself. Not because you're in prison. It's just really, everything is so like cliche and dramatic. She's like rocking back and forth in fetal position, but then she's like, don't cry because you're in prison. Okay. But the thing was, I wasn't crying because I was in prison. I was well aware of the fact I was innocent. I didn't kill Tatiana Vashkov. That's sick. Plus, I had full confidence Abe would find some way to get me out of here. No. I was crying because as much as I tried to erase Dimitri's words the first time he said them, they were now etched in my mind, bouncing all over the place, repeating over and over again. Love fades. Mine has. I closed my eyes and took deep breaths, trying to calm myself. Okay, I'm actually really sad because now I'm like remembering Dimitri say that, and I just need to reread the series. Oh, I'm so emotional. I was nearly settled down when someone panting almost as loud as a dog sounded from the outside of my cell. Wow, what a great simile. Panting, dog. Who'd have thunk to put those two things together? I opened my eyes to see a breathless Adrian Vashkov. I got from the bed and walked over to him, holding his hands through the bars. As much as I loved Dimitri and I longed for him, Adrian was still my boyfriend, and a part of me was beginning to feel stronger than I ever would have imagined I could feel for him. It's like I knew Rose and Dimitri should be together, but at the same time, like, I wanted her to love Adrian, and like, I'm still bitter that Adrian like ended up with somebody else, even though like I was happy Rose and Dimitri ended up together. It was just this, I don't know. I just wanted Adrian to spend his entire life pining for Rose, I guess. His breathing returned to normal, and he shot me an incredulous look. You're fine? He asked, and I was suddenly confused. Not that just made that upsets me. Not that just made that upsets me. That's a sentence. It's just that you probably... God. It's just that you probably one of the loudest screams I've ever heard. Like, literally, I could hear it from my room. Right away, I knew it was you, and I ran here as fast as I could. Apparently, that wasn't too fast, because I already had time to calm myself. But still, I appreciated the gesture. I'm so glad I've become a better writer since this. Like, I mean, not that much better, but... No, I sighed. Ugh. Sighed as a dialogue tag. I should know better. No, I sighed. I'm alright. I'm sorry. I just had a bad dream. He let go of one of my hands and moved it to my face, gently wiping a leftover tear from below my eye. It's alright, little Dampier, he smiled. I used smiled as a dialogue tag. Someone send help. Someone call the police. I was just worried about you. Do you want to talk about the nightmare? His voice was gentle and caring, and I knew Adrian loved me. A lot. He was just trying to help, but there's no way I was going to tell him that I was totally freaked out because I was constantly reminded of Dimitri's displeasure with me. I was constantly reminded of Dimitri's displeasure with me. Even if he was at the hearing, I knew that Dimitri no longer wanted me. He made that perfectly clear. No, I'm better now. It was actually pretty stupid to all worked up over anyways. Thanks. It wasn't entirely a lie, but Adrian could read my tell now after spending so much time with me, just like Dimitri had been able to do. It was about Belikov, he said. He said it as a statement, no question in his tone. I told you, Rose, this is something you and I need to start talking about this. Remember, keep it honest. We'll make it work. I did remember, and the way his voice was filled with such care and understanding nearly broke my heart. It was the first time I felt undeserving of his love. How long is this chapter? Okay, it's not much longer. I shook my head. It's not important. What matters is that you're here right now, and he's not. And it wasn't like he didn't know where to go. I was staying in his old cell. I still couldn't believe that they did that, but part of me thinks it was intentional, and they did it just to put me through more hell. Not consistent verb usage, buddy pal. He smiled. Of course I am, Rose. I'll always be here. You know that. And I did. I hated that there were bars between us. I wanted nothing more than to just hug him and kiss him and hold him. Then an idea came to me. Adrian, do you think you could make the guards let you in here? I asked him, feeling a little smile play upon my lips. He looked confused for a moment. What? Why would they? Oh. For someone who actually has the ability to compel, I was pretty shocked that he didn't think of it first. Well, I could, he said. Obviously, there was going to be a but, and I had a pretty good idea of what it was, though he didn't smell of alcohol. Except that, and please don't get mad at me, I've had a little bit to drink. I know that it probably upsets you, but you gotta know that the situation I'm in isn't easy. I'm really worried about you. He truly did look sorry. I sighed. I understand, Adrian. Really, I do. But you're still upset with me? No. I'm not upset with you, exactly. I just wish that you could come in here with me. We can't really do much with this shit between us, I said, tapping one of the bars. I know, little Dampier. He put my face between his hands and gave me a light kiss on the lips. I promise, as soon as I'm sober, I'll come back. Why would he be able to compel the guards to let him in but not let her out? Wow. A plot twist in the first friggin' chapter, or a plot hole in the first chapter. I smiled. Please hurry. He nodded and then left. I wasn't left with much to do then. The court supplied me with some books, and Lissa brought me some magazines, but the I had read all of the magazines, and the books held no interest to me. Right now really wasn't the time to read a biography of the Queen. Yes, that was the books they gave me. My grammar is just spectacular. It really was a sick joke, especially because in one of them, the last page said, and then she was violently murdered in her sleep. Ha ha, isn't someone quite the little joker? Anyways, I didn't want to read the books, and I most definitely did not want to sleep. I was horrified of returning to that awful dream. Therefore, I decided to go in Alyssa's head. Ironically enough, when I entered, she was with the one person I was trying to avoid. Dmitri Benakov. Okay, so that was the first chapter, and it really wasn't like the worst thing I've ever read. I feel like there are published books written worse than that, but like there's just nothing like creative about it. Like none of the writing was like good. It's all just very like there's a lot of telling. There was not goodness. See, I'm so good with words now. I make myself sick. That's that. But thank you so much for watching. If you thought that this was entertaining in any way, shape, or form, give it a like or a thumbs up or whatever the fuck you do on YouTube anymore. I don't know. Also, subscribe so you can stay updated on when and when I post. Let me know if you've ever written fan fiction. I want to read some of it. Anyway, thanks again for watching. Until next time, bye, bookish friends.